And one thing that I got that really like stood out to me, I was like, oh, that's good, is getting more content for those 14-team leagues, 16-team leagues, 18-team leagues, 20-team leagues. Here are the top 5 deep league waiver wire targets you need to focus on for fantasy basketball. Now, this is straight from the daggone comment section. And that's one thing about this channel that we try our best to do. And I know some of my colleagues, some of my contemporaries, my brothers also do this. And I'm just trying to soak it up and learn from the best out there, right? This is for fantasy football, for fantasy basketball. Big shout out my man Dan Titus. Oh my good, hold up. I'm not gonna shout out Dan Titus without dropping the horn. Let me drop the horn for my man. Big shout out my man Dan Titus. You can check out a recent episode we did about how he got into the professional space of creating content for fantasy sports. So he does fantasy football and fantasy basketball for Yahoo Sports. And he has been a super valuable resource to me in my journey. And I'm just super grateful for him. So again, like many of my brothers do out there, we try to listen to what the people are saying. And one thing that I got that really like stood out to me, I was like, oh, that's good, is getting more content for those 14-team leagues, 16-team leagues, 18-team leagues, 20-team leagues. We got 20-team leagues out there. On Sleeper, on lock-in mode, they doing 30-team leagues like it's nothing. We got people on Fantrax, 30-team leagues, nothing. This is more in the 14 to 16 range, but we're going to give you the top 5 deep league waiver wire targets. Let's get it. Okay, first up, and again, this is good. Troy Brown Jr. Over the last 7 days, Troy Brown Jr. has averaged 27.5 minutes per game. You hear me, Deep League fam? Come on now. I told you I got you. On the season, he's only averaging 15.5, right? That's a big jump. Averaging 14 points per game over the last 7, 2.5 rebounds, 3 assists, a half a steal, and a half a block. I'll let you see kind of what he's been doing over the last couple of games. Over the last couple games, 44 fantasy points according to these settings, 14, 18, 19, and 23. So the minutes is really what I'm looking at, and that's the big thing. We had an injury here. Anthony Edwards is down. He's going to be out for a little while. So Troy Brown Jr., although he's not a shooting guard, he still will be around in lineups at the 2 and maybe even at the 3. So he's someone we want to keep an eye on. Next up, for my deep league folks, Dante DiVincenzo. Dante is somebody I'm not too crazy about, and like for different reasons, right? But I would say if you're in a deeper league, he might be worth a look. He's just rostered in 3.7% of ESPN leagues. And honestly, I think I might even have some numbers for Yahoo on him. Do I have Yahoo stats on him? Oh, no, I have some Yahoo stats for one of my next waiver wire guys for deeper leagues. For Dante, he is just rostered in 3.7% of leagues, widely available. Over the last 7 days, averaging 19.5 minutes, 6.5 points, 2.5 rebounds, 2 assists, Man, he might not even belong in this list. But when you talk about deeper leagues, like, come on, man. You know that you got to kind of settle for the slim pickings, but I'm questioning this decision to put him on this list. Let me move along before I get roasted on that one. Moving right along, Amin Thompson. So Amin, not to be mistaken with Asar. Amin, not to be mistaken with Amen. Amin is coming off an injury, right? So he's been out for a minute. So this is an upside play. Now, I'll preface it by saying this. Ime Udoka is an amazing coach. But right now, his priority it looks like he's trying to win right now. It doesn't appear to me as if Ime Udoka is making moves for his team in terms of rotations that would lead to the development of the young talent, the war chest of young talent that he possesses as the head coach of the upstart, bright future Houston Rockets, right? Doesn't seem like development is his top priority. It seems like he, just like in Boston, he's trying to win. He's trying to go to the finals. Like, I know he won't, but he definitely has a war chest of talent. With that said, if Amen gets some run, it could be a good look for fantasy managers in deeper leagues. For people who are in standard 12-team leagues, I don't think he's someone you really need to look at unless you're way up and you feel like, you know what, let me roll my dice on this. But I do believe for deeper leagues, it's worth an ad just to see what happens. You can drop him if they don't give him the minutes. But if there's an injury or some way, somehow, Ime Udoka decides that Amen Thompson is a priority, then it could work out for you. Next up, top 5 deep league ads. Oh, baby, Sam Hauser. It was wild to me when I saw how many, how available this guy was, because he honestly is a pretty good fantasy player. He's only rostered in 2.3% of ESPN leagues, and for Yahoo leagues, he's only rostered in 15% of Yahoo leagues. So it's not an ESPN thing. He's also widely available on Yahoo, and he's streamable. So the Boston Celtics have an amazing schedule this week. I'm saying if your man is available, and this could work for 8, 10, 12-team leagues as well. Sam Hauser is someone you want to keep an eye on, but definitely in deeper leagues, he's somebody that, depending on what your roster construction is or what your roster build is, someone you might consider holding on for a while, for a couple of weeks. So the next person, oh my goodness, man, if you saw him in the daggone in-season tournament, man, he was like all over the place. TJ McConnell. Man, if he is not a deep league ad, I don't know what is. He is only rostered, and it's wild because for ESPN leagues, typically they are like available all over ESPN leagues and not available as much in a Yahoo league. But it's flipped for this player. It's flipped. He's only rostered in 25% of Yahoo leagues right now. What? Where they do that at? Come on, man. For ESPN, he's rostered in 25% of leagues, which is weird, right? So over the last 7 days, he has averaged 5.5 points, 1.5 rebounds, 3.5 steals. Check this out, 2 steals a game, no blocks. The big thing for me is that he's coming off of this in-season tournament performance, right? He had a really big game. He had on the second against Miami, he did 25 minutes, 20 points, 2 rebounds, 11 assists. I don't think he'll be able to replicate that type of production consistently. However, I think that he was a dog in that game against the Lakers in the championship. He was a dog. He had some key steals. Like, he was just really doing his numbers. So there's a possibility that maybe Rick Carlisle will say, you know what? Let me give this young man a shot. The Kirk Heinrich of his era. Let me give him a little bit of shine and give him 17 minutes a game. For a deep league, that might work for you. So that's what I got. Let me know in the comments for my folks who are in those 14, 16, 18, 20 team leagues. Let me know if that segment was valuable to you. And if you have other ideas of information and just concepts and ideas for deep leagues, let me know and I will do my best to accommodate you.